What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Parrot Press. We done it. We got ourselves a podium, and I did not expect to do it this early on in my Sorare journey, but we went ahead and got ourselves third in Champion America. We went ahead and got ourselves a tier 0, a star rare, a player that I'm absolutely buzzing about having in the gallery, because I was looking at buying him literally 2 days before the rewards come out. So I am buzzing about it, and in this video I'm going to tell you who that player was. I'm going to tell you about all the other transactions that's gone on in my gallery in the last weeks or so. Let's get into the video. So there it is, guys. Third, the Parrot Press, 396.94 points. And the mad thing about this is I went to bed in second place. And I was thinking, oh, there's only a few games left. Am I going to be able to hold on? Obviously, there could be score adjustments and all of that. And I was sitting there thinking, well, third, I'll take third. I'll take fourth, because I wanted that star rare in there. And I went down to fourth. And I went down to full for about a day and a half, literally a couple of hours before the game week was going to close, and obviously rewards was going to start to go out in the next few hours. And I went up to third. So there was some sort of score adjustment. I don't know who it was, but there was a score adjustment. And these guys right here, Joe Willis, Lovitz, Zimmerman, Santos and Sapong, absolutely smashed it for me. So Nashville had a great game. They played really, really well. And obviously the scores reflect that. And I did captain Zimmerman. Now that was a risk, because I was thinking, should I go with Santos, who is more consistent, and I know that I can count on him to get the 50, 60, maybe plus points. But I went with Zimmerman. I trusted my gut and went with it. Sapong also got himself a decisive, and I think it might have even been Santos that got himself a last man clearance. So maybe that boosted it up. But absolutely brilliant, fantastic. So happy that I won. Got a third place, because as I said, I really did not expect to get a third place or a podium finish for a long time in Sorare. I thought I was going to have to really build up the gallery in order to get that. But whether it's luck, whether it's skill, whatever you want to call it, we went ahead and we got it. And the guy that we got in is this guy right here, Pedro Galisi. And I don't know if I've said that right or not, but the brilliant thing about this is when I go through my transactions in a moment or two, I was looking at buying him. I was looking at trying to do some trades. I was looking at the floor every single day, refreshing it every hour, seeing what was out there. And to get him in, obviously I could have got somebody like Carlos Hill or whatever, and that would have been 10 times better. But the good thing is that I've got a usable card for my gallery, a player that I wanted, and a player that I'm going to be playing week in and week out, because he's going to pair with the super rare that I picked up. And if we look at his scores, he is a fantastic goalkeeper. There's just no doubt about it. We look here, and we've got 60s. We started in 248, right, for the MLS League, and look how many 60s he's got. Now, you don't find too many of those. And in my gallery, as I said to you previously, that I've got people like JT Marskinkowski in there, and he doesn't get this. So it's a massive upgrade for me. At the moment, he's worth, I think his floor is around about 0.75, something around those lines. And I just think that he's great. He's a good age. He's in his prime. Gets good AA scores as well. So I'm super happy about having Pedro in the gallery. And as I said to you, what made this even better, the fact that I was trying to pick him up, but what I went and done was picked up this guy right here, Robin Jansen. So I done a video, I think it was 2 videos back, where I talk about the best MLS players to get in for threshold. And he's always been on my radar before that anyway. But from a super rare point of view, we'll jump back to this deal in a minute, but from a super rare point of view, if we look at his scores here, if he's scoring for me high 60s, low 70s, week in and week out, or at least even 2 out of 4 game weeks, something like that, I'm gonna love that. I'm gonna absolutely love that and lap it up with the extra 20 to 25%, whatever XP that he's got on there, and whatever bonus I'll get. I'm gonna love that. So I picked him up, and jumping back to the deal, I sent 0.29 ETH, and I got Mabiala out of the gallery. And I was really struggling to sell Mabiala, so I am very, very happy that we managed to do this deal. The ETH plus averages now is 0.36, and his average, if I was to sell him now, would be 0.41. So made a little bit of money there, but Janssen isn't going anywhere. He's got a great age. I don't see him being transferred. I don't see him being a risk. And now pairing him with Pedro Galese, I am super, super happy about that. And they're going to stay in my gallery for, I think, a long time, to be honest with you. That I don't see them going anywhere. So that's the first player that I got in. The next player that I went and got in is this man right here, Reynuso. And I picked him up for 0.62, a price of €642 at the time. And the reason why I went and got, I mean, if we just show his scores here, this guy is an absolute monster. You look at it, just look how many times he scored above 80, 8 times. He scored above 60, 10 times, like between 60 and 80. He takes their set pieces. He's just fantastic. He's a great age. He basically plays on a club plays in a team where he is the star player. He needs to be playing. He plays in that 10 role. He dictates play. He takes long shots. And I also looked at some of his stats for the MLS as well. And there's pretty much no one above him, really. I think Acosta sort of matches him. Carlos Hill has fallen down a little bit in the upcoming weeks, or the last few months, should I say. And I just think this guy is fantastic. His last game out, he scored 2. And he gets good AAs as well. If we just take a look at his last 15 for an AA point of view, it's 17.1. You just chuck on a decisive, even just the 1 decisive, let alone 2, which he's been getting in sort of recent weeks, or even 3 back in the game week 284. I think he's just fantastic. So I picked him up. I wanted another midfielder that was a top end midfielder for me, and he is now in the club. But I didn't stop there. I went and sold Calvo. Now, if you don't know, Calvo was sold from the Earthquakes and San Jose, and now plays in the Turkish league. So I think I could probably have got more ETH for him in maybe two months' time, because I do think that he's going to start out when he plays in Turkey, and he's gone to the team that finished 3rd last year, and I think that he's going to do really, really well. And I think he's going to the World Cup with Costa Rica. However, I wanted him out because I had different plans. And as you can see as you will see by the upcoming transfers that I've got, I wanted to stay in the MLS. I wanted to stay in America leagues for now. Because obviously I've got a few more weeks utility before Europe starts, but also I just really like those leagues. I like playing there. I've got some knowledge around it now, and I managed to get him out the door for 0.45. I think I made 0.05 on him, which is always welcome. But what I done was I sold him and I got this guy in for 0.4. Rudy Camacho. He's another one I mentioned on the MLS best threshold players. And I think that he's in great form this season. He's got a good age. I don't expect him to be transferred anytime soon. And if we take a look at some of his scores here, we will be able to see that he scores decent week in and week out. Again, from a super rare point of view, I want somebody who's going to get me at least 50 points. Because once you add the bonus on top of it, then obviously you're in a good stead. And the good thing about this as well is that he's got great upside. If we look here, he's got a 99, 100, 100, an 82, a 90 in the last year of playing. So it just means to me that he's capable of peaking. He's capable of being a goal threat and getting that decisive. But also he's capable of scoring good AAs, even if he doesn't get that 10-point plus for a clean sheet. And I just really like him. And as you may know, that in my gallery I have Quieto as well, so I can kind of stack those guys up. Not that one's going to be assisting the other. However, what it does do is allow me to cut down the length of time that I'm looking into team news. Will these people play? And Camacho just plays week in and week out. I don't think he's missed a game for, look at that, since 252. And he probably was suspended or something along those lines. I don't see him being injured for a long time, which is another good thing to have with a super rare as well. You don't want somebody who is going to regularly you don't want any player who's going to regularly get injured. However, from a super rare point of view, because you might only have that 2 or 3, it's just great to have them in your club. It didn't stop there. I went and picked up Yeimar, and I went and picked him up for 0.36. And Neymar is a player that I know quite a lot about. And if we take a look at his scores here, he can be an absolute monster of a defender. Now, I've already got Zimmerman in my club, and I think that he's a monster as well. I know he hasn't had a fantastic season so far, but he's starting to pick up now, as you can tell by helping the SO5 so that I can actually win a rare card. But I think Neymar is just brilliant. Seattle has not been on fire this season, but he still just churns out AA scores like it's nothing, even when they lose. I mean, they lost 3-0 to Portland Timbers, and he still had a 31 AA score. He's a player that I just know a lot about. I had his limited card when I first started my Sorare journey, and I went and picked him up. I then went and picked up this guy to pair with him, which is Stefan Fry. And I don't know what's going on lately. Probably we're coming into the dip maybe with America because the European leagues are starting, but I managed to get him for 0.38. And I might be here in 2 or 3 weeks' time saying, wow, I overpaid for that. But I'm sure he was 0.6 or something like that a few weeks back. And he's a goalkeeper who's under contract. Yes, he's 36, I think he is now. But he's a goalkeeper who's got a contract until the end of next year. So I don't understand why people are getting rid of him. And I do think that Seattle are going to make the playoffs. So I don't know why they're selling him. You might look at these DMPs here and be like, oh, is he long-term injury? He's got COVID. So he's already missed 2 of these games. I expect him to be back this weekend or potentially next. So pairing him with Neymar, I just think it's another great option for me. I just think he's a really, really solid goalkeeper. And what that allows me to do, if I flip over to my gallery, you'll see here that I've got 4 rare goalkeepers now. Well, I'm going to sell JT. I'm going to get him out of the side because if I picked up Fry for 0.38 and I can sell JT for 0.58 or something like that, obviously I've made 0.2 and I've still got my 3 goalkeepers as I've won that Pedro there. But when I look at this, I've got 3 goalkeepers and I've got 3 great defenders to pair with them. I've got the Neymar, the Zimmerman, and I've also got Janssen. I like stacking a goalkeeper with a defender. You don't obviously always have to do it, but then if they get a clean sheet, I get the 10 plus the decisive as well. And that's just a massive boost. The other player that I've got in here is still Hong Jung-un. Now, he's just coming back from injury, so I'm probably going to keep him around for a little while, and I've still obviously got Lovitz and Boxall. Lovitz is always going to be in my club because he's such a low price. He's just going to be there for utility for me. You know, when I need that extra player in there, he's going to slot in there. I know that he plays, he takes set pieces. I just think that he's a really good pickup, and he's at a decent age. I think he's 30 now. Boxall, I'm probably going to try and get out. And as I said, with Hong Jung-un, I'm going to keep him for now, but he might leave the club soon just to generate a little bit more reef so I can get some other players in. If we look at my midfielders, now Reynosa's in there as well. We've got Acosta, Pereira, and we've got Santos. Santos will probably just stay in my club just like Lovitz, giving me that midfield option. Pereira, I'm not too sure what to do with. He's a good player, obviously. He's their captain. He plays, and he can go in with that Orlando stack that I've got with Galicia and Janssen. But he's somebody who sometimes comes off after the 60 minutes. He's always an injury doubt. I'm always looking for news on him as to what's going on. But I mean, if we look at his scores here, obviously they're really, really solid. But I just want somebody who's going to play 90 minutes. And you might look at this and think, well, he's only missed 1 game. He's come off the bench a couple of times, but he's only missed 1 game. But the trouble is, it's always that stress. It's always that panic. Oh, is he fit? Is he playing? Let's hunt around on Twitter. And at 32, I just don't know if there's somebody else that's better out there at the moment. But they're my midfielders. And then forwards, I think this is where I've got a bit of a problem. I've got Morris, Sapong, Quieto, which, to be honest, I'm quite happy with. I don't mind any of them. They all start. They all get decisives. They're capable of getting 2 or 3 decisives in a game. But I think I need more up top. My defenders and goalkeepers I'm really happy with. The two or 3 midfielders that I've got that are the high sort of scoring midfielders I'm happy with as well. I would like one more, maybe a Mukhtar, or maybe probably Mukhtar, to be honest. It sounds like I'm a Nashville fan, but I probably am now after what they've done for me and got me that star rare. But I probably want maybe a Rubio. I mean, if we look at my watch list here, you'll see kind of what I'm thinking. I've got Jordi Reyna in there. I'm just monitoring price on him. I don't really expect to pick him up. Rui Diaz I really like. And I know that he's suffered with injuries, but I do really like him. At the moment, he's 0.39. I expect it to come down a little bit more. I expect them to make the playoffs, and he's capable of doing amazing things in games and getting, hat tricks or an assist, a goal, etc. So I like him. Gustavo Bo there, I think he's obviously playing really, really close to his potential or his maximum potential. So I'm not too sure on him for around about 0.6. But this guy really interests me, Diego Rubio. The only problem that I've got with him is that he plays for Colorado, and I'm not 100% sure if they're going to be making the playoffs. But I do like him. He takes set pieces. He sometimes plays centre midfield to get his AAs up. I do like him. So he might be coming in sooner or later, definitely. Well, then we've got Mukhtar in there. We've got Zelarayan, I think I've said that right, as well, that I'm monitoring, because now that they've got that new number 9, Chucho Hernandez, I think his name is, I expect a lot of assists and goals between them. And then we've got Brenner, Arejo, Savarino and Vasquez. So I've got quite a lot on my watch list. And ideally, as I said, I would like another midfielder, top-end midfielder, and a top-end forward. Don't know where I'm going to fund that at the moment. Obviously, I want to sell Marcinkowski, but if I picked up Rubio, for example, I've only probably then got about 0.2 or 0.3. So maybe I'll get another podium. Maybe I'll get another star rare or something like that over the weekend. But there we are. I'm happy with my gallery. I just need to work out what I'm doing with the forwards at the moment. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see some more, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the future.